Oh no, my shoes! Hello, everyone. Welcome to the British Grand Prix, round 8 of the Silver Championship. And I thought it was raining, to be honest, but it's not. It just looks very overcast and very murky. A usual day in this part of Northamptonshire. Then 20 drivers head on the grid. Then for silver, Emerson and Taylor Ayrton was calling the shots earlier on. Then, of course, he was going to wipe the floor and win by 30 seconds. Screenshot, and it will be exposed if Ayrton doesn't win tonight. And that goes next to my other screenshot of his brother Emerson in a Tottenham Hotspur t-shirt or football shirt, which I gotta say is probably the worst thing you can do. Let go silver, says Nolte then. Sam Emerson driving on Ayrton's account, can't prove it though. If Ayrton finishes the race in the points, it wouldn't be Emerson driving. As we've also got good luck all from Ginner and Emerson saying, don't expose me, Sam. Good evening all to Styles as well. Rain in the race there, rain in... I can't see. Rain for the race, for Ayrton's race, but everyone else will be dry. I got a big heart in the way, so I can't read the final syllable. 1 second. It's raining for Ayrton's race, but everyone else, it is dry. Goodness gracious me. Is that even illegal? I do not know, to be honest. Maybe Ayrton's got this sprinkler system, which Bernie Ecclestone wanted a few years back. I say a few years back. It's probably about 10 years ago now, isn't it? Of course. Oh, gosh. Must be mute. Of course, the sprinkler system, what was it, like 2010 or something like that? Was also when they was talking about giving medals out to drivers instead of points, which was very odd indeed, wasn't it? Ginner then first out on circuit and across the line, then over the Hamilton Straight to start us on our qualifying journey. I remember the was it silver or bronze race there where Vessier, I think, was it Vessier that was very close to winning, and of course as well the legendary Sick as Muck also almost won around here as well, back in bronze over yesteryear as well. Then so there's been a lot of good memories for a lot of drivers out there, so good stuff indeed. As we've got Ginner coming down the Wellington Straight now, and I think that the fans may need to pack their wellies for tomorrow, for later on tonight then when we get in the racing, because we have heard there's sprinkling of the wet stuff, man. Coming into Cops Corner as well and flicking it past us. It's very much flat out these days in these modern era of Formula One machinery. And flicking it into Maggots, then into Beckett's, and then into Chapel as well. And it is probably the best series of corners in all of the Formula One kingdom. Then before you come down the Hangar Straight, then you got to diagonal the straight then because you want to be on the outside into Stoke Corner before you can flick it in. And then throw it into the final couple of corners. And as you can see, Ginner is coming up to the start-finish line now, then to set us on, to throw down the gauntlet for the other 19 drivers to chase and across the line. And Ginner does a 26.351. Good stuff indeed then. Where's my control? Oh, there it is. And goodness gracious me, I couldn't find where my controller was. And happy 120th Grand Prix start tonight for Camera Racer, then good stuff indeed, as there is Camera Racer. Let's have a look at Camera Racer. 120th start, goodness gracious me. I've got to say, I thought that front wheel was off the ground there for Camera Racer, as goodness gracious me, flying it, flinging it into the corners before coming down the back straight once again. There's a lot of controversy last night as Reflections goes past and the Bronze World Champion. A lot of controversy at this part of the circuit here last night, was there? Of course, where Villiers crashed, then coming into the pit lane, then of course caused a safety car. And then there was a lot of, developments after that. The outcome of the stewards' inquiry has not been made yet. Then, so we may have to wait until tomorrow night in bronze for an update there. As KD goes second fast, then of course I haven't even gone through the drivers in the constructors' championship yet, which is a shame on me. Mumford goes 7th fastest there. Potstuff goes into 4th fastest. Excuse me, my phone just fluctuated at me. To be honest, I had a panic a minute ago because I thought that I broke the sound on the stream, as I couldn't hear anything. But I did. I had my phone on mute. Here comes Fahad then into the second intermediate split time. Cut up to the hanger straight now, of course. Second start for Fahad this evening then. So as he comes down the back straight again, dialing the back straight. Sean, are you in the Epstein files? No, I don't think so. And if I was, I'll make sure that I am redacted out of it. Goodness me. I've heard a whisper though that Bernie Ecclestone and Flavio Briatore is in it, eh? To be honest, one person I'm surprised is not in it is Eddie Irvine, but there you go. But then again, Eddie Irvine was a lot of things, but I don't think he is one of those people. And I say one of those people in the most harshest way possible because it is quite a vile thing to be a part of, in my opinion. And I think a lot of people share that as well. Disgusting stuff indeed. But Irvine was a lot of things, but he wasn't that then, was he? Of course, I was reading actually. Eddie Irvine was trying to buy. He's trying to buy the Jordan team, wasn't he, in 2004 before they was eventually taken over by the Midland group, I think, before they became the Spiker team. It's a sloth, Ben. Goodness gracious me. It looks like that he's driving a shopping trolley around the final stage of the British Grand Prix, and it is the slowest of the 14 runners thus far. Unfortunately, then, we're going to just watch what Smithy does. Of course, he was third in the championship in bronze last season. There's a Ferrari. I don't think that's a Ferrari, actually. That's a pink Ferrari, if it is. Just lingering on the outside there. Going into the loop for Smith and Mighty, we're probably, I think it's the, excuse me, how do I turn my phone down? Well, probably with the volume button, Sean. Oh, who would have thought of that? Smithy Almighty then down the Wellington Straight then, going into Brooklands, and I love this camera. It's absolutely spectacular. It's really showing the cars at work here in Silverstone. I did mention last night then that I'm not overly fond of commentating on this track because normally it's a straightforward one stop. Having said that though, Mehdi and Flippy both mentioned that actually it's not as straightforward as what this ginger guy is talking about, because it sounds like the tyres are on a knife edge. Well, we're expecting rain in the race then, but whether we get to have the dry tyres on remains to be seen. And of course, as well, you got to also think about whether or not, goodness me, that's talking to town tonight then, and of course, whether the weather will come in as well, then, of course, as it is standard British sunshine out there is the day. You don't know where to pack a raincoat or pack some sunscreen in your Speedos then. As coming out of the final turn there for Spiffy. I love to see Spiffy in his Speedos across the line and goes at 9th fastest there. In the side of the top 10, 2/10 second in front of Smithy Almighty. Here's Farf in his pink machine then into turn 1, but we're going to move away from Farf at the moment because I want to watch the real Fig. And I also want to watch Devo Croc. There is Devo Croc then into Stowe Corner. Sadly, the first memory I have of Stowe Corner is when Michael Schumacher broke his leg in the 1999 British Grand Prix. And I think that that's a sleeper season to me, 99. I think that I look back on it with great fondness, the 99 season. Unfortunately for Schumacher, he probably doesn't really, because that potentially could have and should have won the championship, especially if you think about how many times Hakkinen dropped the ball, so to speak. Then, but these days we call it bottling, which... not ideal, is it then? As Knowlesy then coming into the loop. I'm just watching Farfan coming out of Cop's corner. And of course, away he goes and flicking past us now. Both racing bulls have not set a time on the board just yet. And Farf has been too greedy there, has taken a shortcut, and unfortunately has been slapped with a... oh my goodness me. I only have eyes for you, potato body. Thank you very much then. Albeit, I do have a body of a god, shame it's a Buddha. And all that kind of stuff. I used to have a t-shirt with that on as well, which I must say I was quite proud of. Albeit it was very friendly with the old hips as well. Here comes Knowles in and out of Cop's corner. He's got a Mercedes parked right in front of him here. That is about a couple of seconds down the road, but that dirty air coming off of the back of that Mercedes is not going to help the Aston Martin whatsoever. And I think his jitter goes fast there by a tenth of a second. If the Aston Martins are anywhere close to that close to Mercedes in Australia in a couple of weeks' time, they will be overjoyed, won't they? Because Aston Martin, by the looks, are the slowest cars on the grid for F1 2026. well, probably not the slowest, but certainly most unreliable. I'm not sure. I think the Cadillac probably slower than them across the line. Knowles, he goes 4 fastest there for the 3-time Grand Prix winner in gold. Of course, he's never won in silver, has Knowles, but remember, this is only his 8th Grand Prix start in silver, of course, as that man has been ever present in gold. Vestier goes 8 fast there for the pink machine. Good stuff deep. It's currently Jinner fastest at. Second is Reflection. And goodness me, the top 3 in the championship. Usually the top 3 in the Grand Prix, but that is not the case at the moment, isn't it? As thank you very much then to Mad Max. Lovely stuff indeed. A goat with a hand emoji. Thank you very much, Mad Max. I don't think Mad Max is in here tonight from what I can see. Pot stuff for pole, says Hammer Time. Currently it's KD who's on pole position as he took me by surprise. Oh my word. I'm going down a downward spiral with this. But KD currently on pole position by 2/10 of a second there from Jenner in second. A Reflection in third. I was about to say before KD spoiled my party, before he rained on my parade, rained on my bonfire, but I was saying that the top 3 in the championship are not the top 3 out there at this moment in time. Good evening to you, Halsey. Good luck to Silver as well. I do. Can you say rough 2 times quickly, please? Rough, rough. I was going to make a panting noise then, but I thought I'd better not because I could be in a lot of trouble. Having said that, then I always make a panting noise after after commentary and all that kind of stuff. But that's because I am very unhealthy. As KD is coming back into the garage then, whilst I'm looking at Tory. 4,500 a second down after the Wellington straight, then that is not all doom and gloom. Styles is up to 10th position, that's not doom and gloom either. Fantastic stuff indeed for Styles. I'm going to take a look at Tory. Where was I? Martin then saying Hassan, then of course who are making his second Grand Prix start tonight in the Williams machine. And where is he? There he is then, starting his lap. Then Hassan is going to keep an eye on what the Williams trying to do. Just watching Tory at the moment, who's second in the Drivers' Championship. Thank you very much to all the Hassan fan club in here. Brilliant stuff indeed. Mad Max, and we've also got our Elf as well. I apologise, I can't say anyone's name, so shocking stuff indeed. Gaming and go, Hassan, go then. And also we got Fahani then also saying Hassan on top. Brilliant stuff indeed. Evening, Sean and Lady, says Serious Mushroom there.
Thank
out the final turn now comes Tory, goes full fastest. I was trying to compute something then, but because I lost my spreadsheet and I had a little bit of a like, oh my god, where have I put it? Here is Hassan now then. Well, I put it on my computer, Sean. Hassan going a bit wide into Chapel, but that's all fine and dandy. Does not take all of the circuit there for Hassan, so I think that he's just getting his eye in here in that beautiful Golf livery then. Of course, Williams in the real world, they got a very overweight car, haven't they? Which I know a lot about being, of course, being an overweight car. Albeit I'm not really a car, I'm more of a heavy machinery kind of man. Here's Farf, and of course, Farf knows a lot about cars, and of course he's a mechanic in his spare time. To be honest, I think he's more than a mechanic, is he? I think he's a wheeler and dealer. He's like Dale Boy of in Ipswich then. Oh, but that. Serious Mushroom, are you racing tomorrow? Read your PlayStation messages then. Oh gosh, Hussein, not Hassan. I apologise. Yes, I am sorry. I'm meant to be a commentator, but I can't even pronounce names. Goodness gracious me. Yes, Knowlesy. I asked Sean to sign me in and he said no. What? I never said such a thing. Just did not watch the stream last night. Farf goes 17 fastest there for Farf. Of course, last season was his worst season of his career for Farf, which I'm not sure if he's too proud of me saying that. Then I know he's not proud of me saying that, but of course, I'm only here to expose Farf, and that's about it, to be honest. He doesn't know how to turn his volume down, let alone turn his side into Discord. In my defence, I've had an Android update, and for some reason, when I turn my volume down, it only turns down my ringtone, but doesn't actually turn anything else down. And now all of a sudden, it's turned on my notifications and my volume down for YouTube. Camera Racer, happy 120th tonight for Camera Racer, 5th fastest. But now it's turned down my my sound and my notifications. I now can't get the YouTube sound to work. So fantastic stuff indeed. Turn off and on again. So we got Raf Matey then said, HMB, good stuff indeed. And I don't think that's the shop, sadly, as Farf has taken a shortcut. I hope the admins are watching this, because that is absolutely disgraceful stuff indeed then. I think that the book needs to be thrown at Farf there. Says me, up in the comments box then. As I'm just watching Hussein Farhad then. I apologise, to be honest. I don't even know. I don't know why we get so many viewers, to be honest, because I can't even pronounce anyone. Here's what Mark can pronounce: Ayrton or Ayrton, with the beautiful Lewis Hamilton crash helmet then. At the moment, just like his brother, down in 18th position. Goodness me. To be honest, well, way back when we first started the ALR, of course, the two Hilton's brothers, Dad used to watch us on stream, and I must say it was an absolute joy, wasn't it? But Ayrton at the moment in the Aston Martin, I'm not sure if he's borrowed his brother's wheel or not. I hope not, if it's anything like Emerson's performance from last night. But there we go. I'm also chatting a lot of fire tonight as well. I'm getting a spare PC off my dad, Alex, so I should be good next week. Oh, it's serious pressure going to PC Mastery, are you? Oh, fantastic. Of course, that is a great plug, because ALR, of course, is a cross-play promotion now, which is fantastic. So, of course, we are Xbox, PlayStation and PC Mastery, which is all cool stuff indeed. I would love to go on PC, but I'm going to be honest, I can't afford it. And also, secondly, I haven't sorted my chair out either. Well, my chair is kind of up and ready, but every time I sit on it, it breaks. But that might be down to my waistline rather than anything else. But I do blame the production. Ayrton, unfortunately, on the outside of the circuit, that lap time is not going to count, because Ayrton is on the part of the circuit that we do not rent there, and that is trespassing in my world. Watching Styles then coming out of Chapel now, DRS, and remember this is the last time we're going to be seeing these DRS boards before it is like OM. Is it still overtake mode, or is it now something else? An active aero or something like that. It's an AA. Goodness me, I need to go to the AA anomalous as well, don't I? Goodness gracious me. I'm not playing on a PC. Can't be hard. Can't be bothered. Styles head out of the final turn, and of course 19 turns around this modified Silverstone Silka up into 8th position, and oh goodness me, Farhad has left the session, and I hope that that's not down to my appalling commentary skills, and I'm hoping it's more down to I hope it's not down to a connection issue either, to be honest. Look at that rain cloud there. That rain cloud is coming for the race, I think, and Potstuff will be keeping an eye on that as he goes down the Wellington Straight. I remember back in the French Grand Prix of '97, one of the best on-board footage you'll ever see is when you're on board with Michael Schumacher's Car 5 Ferrari, as the checkered flag has fallen. A lot of drivers have missed the checkered flag there, so that's not ideal. And so that is unfortunate indeed. The kick Sauber have got across the line, the real thing, and he stays in 16th position. Of course, the French Grand Prix, I know in the British Grand Prix, yeah, well, we'll talk about that in a minute, because out of the final turn comes a Mumbai 13th fastest. That's a horror show for the McLaren driver, as Mumbai, of course, remember, was a pole position for the opening 2 rounds here. There's the reflectors on pole position then for the British Grand Prix. My giddy gosh, that's an incredible lap there from Reflections. And is that the first time he's been on pole position in his career as Silver? I'll come back to you, my good sirs. Vessier out of qualifying. Mercedes across the line. I think that was Riley. And then we've got the Haas of Potstuff going up into 3rd position. Fantastic stuff for Potstuff. He's in the top 3 now. Mega stuff indeed then. We have got to the Red Bull car across the line. What about Katie? It's not enough. And it is Reflection on pole position still, as Jenna goes 3rd fast as well. What about Tory? Tory is 1102nd up, but I think he's crawling. He's crawling. There's a mistake there. And Stars has also got off the circuit as well. Goodness gracious me. What about Chlorine Pilot? He has found 6/10 of a second there. And currently, I think that as it stands, Chlorine Pilot is going to elevate himself up a few positions here. Devo Croc has gone into 9th position. Chlorine Pilot across the lines, 15th fastest there. And I have just absolutely spluttered all over my mobile phone. But it is pole position now. Number 1 of his career for Reflections. Hang on. I got to fact check myself here. Yes, it is. It's his first ever pole position there for Reflections in silver. He's had a couple of pole positions in bronze before, but his first pole position in silver. It is a mega lap from the Ferrari. Ferrari. And wow, was that a turn up for the books for Reflections, or did we expect that? Well, I certainly didn't. Oh gosh, we've got an Alpine there screwed across the start-finish line there. Hopefully the marshals will get that car out of the way pronto. But Ferrari's first pole position of the season, and it has been a brilliant one. Fantastic. Where was I? They're changing the F1 rules before the start of the season. Seen it on YouTube. Yeah, and they're lowering the kilowatt down, aren't they? Well, before we go through that, let's go through this. Reflections pole position is first of his career. KD alongside him on row one. A 10th per second separates the top two. Junior in third position, and fourth position is Potstuff. They're hassling around on row two. Third on the third row is Torre with camera 120th world per star. Knowlesy was high up his fourth last race, but he had not a good follow up. Then we got 8th, 9th for 10 position. Think about Croc Styles and someone else. Yes, I think so, says Halsey. Please invite Hassan. Let's go, Reflection, says Halsey. Yes, Reflection, says Delta. Let's go, Reflection. Rain. Hopefully the admins can invite Hassan back into the lobby. I would try and do it, but I don't know how to when it's cross-play. Perhaps I shouldn't I, really? But there you go. You know, prepare to fail, fail to prepare. But yes, they are changing the rules, aren't they? Like they're lowering the kilowatts, aren't they, or something like that. Also, as well, no, are they changing the start line? No, they're not changing the start procedures as well. I'm going to be honest. I was looking forward to these rule sets, but I know there's a lot of negative chatter around it, but I was looking forward to it. But sadly, is kind of, it hasn't been very ideal at all, has it, in terms of the rule set? Let's take a look at the drivers and the constructors standing, shall we, whilst we've got a bit of rain in the background. And it is, Tory leads the championship 4 points in front of KD in second, then 12 points adrift of the championship lead is Potstuff in third. Reflections in fourth on 57 points then. He is currently the championship leader at this moment in time. Everyone's on intermediate tyres behind us as we go for the formation lap. Vester in fifth position with Knowlesy in sixth on 50 points. 41 points for Camera Racer. Riley on 41 as well. 38 for Ginner. Smithfield Mighty on 26 points as it stands there. Styles on 23, 22 for Kiki. 18 for Dynamo Dante McCrock on 14. Mumford on 7. 1 for Farf. 1 for the Real Thing. Nigel Sloth and Chlorine Pilot have not scored any points yet. In the Constructors' Championship, Haas lead the way. And well, I say Haas lead the way. It's actually joined to the top between Haas and Alpine. 129 points for both teams. McLaren on 106, 72 for Aston Martin, 57 for Ferrari, 55 for Racing Bull, 43 for Mercedes, 41 for Willie, 24 for Kick Sauber, and 18 for the Racing Bull. Then, and that is the quickest I have ever done that. So I'm very happy with myself. They're fantastic. So will we have a red flag today? At least says Sebastian. It's because the long racer's battery will become useless. I mean, long as in straight. Said, yeah, it's going to be a horror show in Australia, isn't it? I was saying, what was I saying? I don't know what I was saying. I was looking forward to these rule sets, and I thought 50-50 split of the battery and the engine was a really good idea, and also to get rid of the, as well as get rid of the MGUH then, because that was the most expensive component of the engine. Was a really good idea. But having said that, I think we should just go back to V10s personally, or V8s, and just have green fuels or something like that. But then again, I'm just a simple so-and-so. But I do like loud things. That's why I think that's why I liked F1 to begin with. Murray Walker and screaming V10s and V12s was exactly right up my street. And I think it was V8 as well, actually, because we had V10s, 12s, and 8s. Reflections, first pole position of its career. KD alongside on row one, second in the World Championship. Haas in third and fourth position with Jenner and Potstuff. Tory in fifth with Cameron sixth. Knowlesy in seventh position with Debo Croc, Styles and Vestia. 8th, 9th and 10th position there. 11th position is Farhad. He has still not got in this session. Oh, he's joined. Fantastic. 12th position is Riley. Dynamo down in 13th with Smith in 14th. Chlorine Pilot, a great job in 15th. 16th was Mumford, a horror show for the McLaren team. Real Fig in 17th, Farf 18th, 19th Ayrton, 20th is Sloth. 20 drivers on the grid then for the British Grand Prix. Invite, says Farhad. I'm glad to say that Farhad is back in the race set. A session then. 5 later on then. Oh, it's a drive through. Oh no! and that's a slam dunk drive through as well. As Chlorine Pilot has had the best start I've ever seen, apart from Welsh Maldonado in Abu Dhabi a few years ago. But Reflections lead. Second is KD, and now as they come off the grid, and Usain flying up the inside. There's contact, and oh goodness me, they're all squeezed into the loop then, and there's all anarchy here. And the two house drivers have had a Paul inside. They've both dropped down the order. So there is debris all over the show. Mumford is at 5 positions. Slough is at 8 positions. That's an incredible start for Slough. And that, wow, what was that? And that was someone, who is that that's gone wrong off the circuit? I think that was Farfair off the circuit, unfortunately. And it's been a bit of a difficult start. It's when the Mercedes and Demo Croc is dropping all the way down the order. Back in the front then. Potstuff is on the inside as Vester going on the outside as well. Potstuff is leading up then. Farfair's gained a 10-second penalty. Oh God. Excuse me. And then we got Camera Racer and someone's else off the circuit, and that's one of the Williamson is Camera Racer off the circuit. Riley into 8th position now then, as Mumford up into 9th and 7th position there. That's King Sauer is going to go side by side there with Farfan, who's got a 10-second penalty, has Farfan, unfortunately. Not ideal at all as we go through Chapel as well. And we're going to go down the hanger straight for the first time. Reflections lead. Second is KD. Status quo. Third position is Tory up 2 positions there. The championship leader, Vestier on the inside. He has got past Potts. They almost locked wheels. Going to collapse. And Wallace out far from the inside there. And Camera Racer. Goodness gracious me. As Chlorine Pilot is coming into the pits and got a Serpent drive-through penalty. As look at Riley hacksawing away there. As goodness gracious me, coming out of the final turn. Absolutely incredible stuff indeed. Wow, as going through to complete that one, Farhad will not take control. I really hope that's not the case, and Serious Mushroom is more right than wrong normally, isn't it? By the way, how dare I say that? Goodness gracious me, what's wrong with me? I must be getting man flu. We've got Reflections lead second, as Mumford and Riley are still going side by side through the loop then, and that Aston Martin of Knowlesy then wants to have a sniff, he wants to have a piece of that action, doesn't he, as we come down the hanger straight once again. Nope, it's not the hanger straight, it's the Wellington straight. Wheel to wheel. It's light rain at the moment then, you can see though that, Riley's gone wide. Knowles is going to have a look on the inside. It is, we get a lovely shot of the BRDC club in the background. Fantastic. As we come out of Luffield there, which used to be 2 turns, it is now 1 continuous turn, which I prefer personally, but goodness gracious me. Riley, I'm going to look at no DRS, and of course I think the track conditions are too wet out there at the moment then for DRS then, which means we're going to have a bit more traditional overtaking then. So any of you purists out there are going to be much more happier to not have DRS, but of course we still have the ERS deployment there, but of course you've got to be more careful, especially around here. There's not many braking zones around here, so you've got to be thinking about your harvesting and all that kind of jazz. And by the sounds of it, there's going to be a lot of harvesting in the Australian Grand Prix coming up in 10 days time, as I've got me countdown on my phone now as well, which is probably why my phone is broken now. There we go then, but of course I do love a good widget. As that into you can see, look at the, I must say, if the weather dries out, if the weather stops raining, if it stops raining, as Vester sets fast on the race, I think it's going to dry out quite quickly around here. Of course, it is a summer rain you can never predict, can you? But it's a standard British weather, isn't there? Of course, we got rain 1 minute, then the next minute it's going to be glorious sunshine out there. Mumford once again is now all over pot stuff, and Mumford putting his horrific qualifying to one side and up into 7th position. Same with Slough up 10 positions as well. And incredible stuff indeed from both drivers, doing a mega job then to start their race out there. Sadly, Chlorine Pilot getting a drive-through penalty. I think that he must have just released the clutch slightly too early, and unfortunately that was a drive-through penalty. And sadly, it was slam dunk there. Slough, I am Slough up 10 places then, says Ruthless Venom. Absolutely, it's been a superb start there for Slough, and a superb start for this man here of Mumford as well. Coming out of Cops Corner once again, lap 3 out of 26 of this one. Not many lappage around here, is there? Of course, it's one of the lower lappage of the season. Only 26 laps around here. Farf has unfortunately got another penalty there, so he's kind of racking them up at the moment. It's Farf as Riley getting very squirrely on the old rear posterior there. And look at these gaps there starting to spread out. Compared to last night there, where we had a bit of a train, didn't we, with all the DRS trains? Well, tonight that's not the case at all. Smithfield Mighty is in, it looks like he's in peril there, but he's been able to resist the onslaught there of the Real Fig in 17th position there in the kick Sauber. I think since the Real Fig has got a full-time seat there, it hasn't been as successful as it was before. Look at them drifting through turn one. That's incredible, isn't it? I must admit, when I looked up there, I kind of thought that was going to be it for Reflex. I thought he was going to go off into the scene of the accident where Lucas Percy retired very early on last night. Then out of the loop, as KD did set the pass up a minute ago or two, didn't he? But the gap is still 1 second out there at the moment. Of course, no DRS in these weather conditions at the moment because the FIA is deemed them to be too dangerous to have the drag reduction system online. Go into Brooklands once again. It should be racing with what you bring, like the old days, says Serious Question. Absolutely. Bring V10s, bring V12s, bring V8s then. I think a lot of teams will probably just bring the V10s these days, won't they? Of course, the V12s were very powerful, but very first, and the V8s was not as powerful, but was also very efficient as well, wasn't they? Well, apparently, anyway, that was a simplified version of what Murray Walker was saying in the 1995 season, I believe, as I was watching on YouTube the other day. Can't remember, was it the Argentina Grand Prix or I don't know, I can't remember, goodness gracious me. Goodness me, bring back the old days, I'll say, but I haven't said that. Would us modern day fans like though the old days with refueling and stuff like that? I'm not sure, but I must admit, I sat through the Schumacher era, so which I must say was probably just as bad as the Max Verstappen 2023. I say just as bad then because you look back at that season now, especially 2023, and you just got to absolutely revel. My word, coming out of the final turn there was that Mumford, then absolute opposite lock there on the steering wheel of the McLaren Mercedes. Good heavens above there. I would say, though, that you just look back at 2023, 2002, with Max Verstappen and Michael Schumacher, and just watch it all, because that is absolutely superb stuff, just seeing those two masters at work there. I mean, the seasons to sit through was quite difficult, I must say, especially the 2002 season, but at the same time, just watching back on season review, just how good those drivers really were. It's fantastic. Right, where was I? Farfgo collected penalties like Panani stickers. Do you still do sticker books, Mushroom? Does anyone else actually do sticker books? Because I love one of the reasons why I love the World Cup, which of course this year, is I love to do the Euros and the World Cup sticker book, which apparently I need to grow out of, but there you go. I'm still immature, but what can I say? I do love collecting the stickers, so I think it's one of the best things about it. Tune in and Sean is not screaming, says Anthony. Not at the moment then, but that's because I was wetting me whistle. And also, I was talking absolute boulder dash, I think, about yesteryear in Formula 1. How's the beard, serum working out, says Delta? Not very well. To be honest, it's worked very well on the back, because I kind of dropped it on my back the other day. What was I doing? Why was it on my back? I hear you ask that. Well, to be honest, it just rolled off my shelf and dribbled down my back there, which, by the way, that's the beard serum and nothing else. Good heavens above. Yeah, so I've got a very hairy patch now right at the top of my back there. It's the first time I've ever had a hairy back as well. I feel very badly. But sadly, no one can see it unless I take my top off, or maybe I'll just wear a vest top tomorrow at work, or I might get kicked out. He's had a choking incident already. Reflections up front, down the vest here, says it, Kieran. Goodness gracious me. Which is, I think that, as now up the inside there goes Riley, as I think it's starting to dry out. I reckon that we're going to go to slick tires, because that circuit is starting to dry out. We can see a dry line forming here in Silverstone, even though it's still very light rain out there. But I feel that we're going to be onto dry tires in the not too distant future. Kieran, as far as is not a fan of Vetcher by the sounds of it, but he is loving Reflections in the race by almost a second and a half now in this one, which is unbeknownst to me, because I was talking about yesteryear. And of course, that reminds me of something else. Bring back the tyre war as well. Goodness me. You can tell I'm an old school man, can't you? Goodness gracious me. Tyre war would not even work these days in F1. My gosh. Of course, when we had the Goodyear tyres, we had the Bridgestone tyres. I think in 91, no, I think we only had two actually, didn't we? We had Pirelli and a Goodyear there as well. But then we had, of course, the Bridgestone tyres and the Michelin tyres. Is it Michelin or Michelin? I think it's Michelin, isn't it? But of course, who can forget the 2005 at United States Grand Prix? I must admit, in a very odd way, that is one of my favourite races. Oh, excuse me. Someone's just showed off their big exhaust out there. It's one of my favourite races just because of how weird it all was then. And also because the fact is that I was cheering on the legend himself, Zolt Baumgartner, hoping to get a podium as well. Or maybe Narain Carter-Kane, two of the legendary backmarkers in Formula One history. Instead it went to Thiago Monteiro. Look at that track. That track is getting very dry out there. Vessier on the inside then of Ginner, and through number 2, 4th position goes Vessier. Once again, Vessier shown the qualifying. Absolutely no need to worry. But here comes Ginner, probably the quickest driver in a straight line. Vessier parks on the middle of the circuit there, and then wrong-footed Ginner ever so slightly. He had nowhere to go, unfortunately. That's not drying anytime soon, says Mushroom. What do you mean? How dare you, Mushroom? I've got a degree in geography. I know a lot about the weather. Coming through it, called. Actually, did I get a C in geography? I think I did. But I think the reason why I got a C in geography is because I had a really pretty teacher. There you go. Goodness me. I am a shallow man. I apologise profusely. Riley was all over the gearbox there of Mumfai, but he couldn't get through there going through Maggots and Beckett's there. Now we're down the back straight once again, and of course the driver started Constantina back up now, though. I was saying earlier on then how spread out they were. The top three are spread out then, with reflections needed from KD and Tori. They've got a second between each other then, so it's very much a breathing space there. And then after that then, but having said that, Tori's now got Vessier and Ginner for company, which I don't think that, as much as those two gentlemen are probably quite nice company to have, I don't think he wants the company around Silverstone tonight there. I definitely got a D in the old. Am I allowed to say that? Honestly, well, I don't think I am. But I certainly got a D in biology, says Emerson. Absolutely. I certainly know my way around the biology lesson. I can tell you that. Wales is not geography, says Mushroom. Technically, it is because it is a country, isn't it? And of course, I am now been travelled far and wide there, of course, as I have made my way to Wales once or twice, which is all cool stuff indeed. I think that's the furthest way I've been. I've also been to Poole as well, and also I went to the British Riviera as well, as I went down to Torquay for a few days, I think, as well. I think it was my mate's stag. It was around COVID time, so we wasn't allowed to go. We was meant to go to Portugal, but luckily we couldn't get to Portugal because of COVID, and also luckily as well because I didn't show my passport either, which I said I was going to do and I forgot to do it. There we go. Would someone use the Jarno Opmeer pit lane finish? To be fair, I don't think the admins have actually said that that's illegal or not. So in theory, why not? I remember Michael Schumacher did something similar, albeit the pit lane was a lot different back in 1998, albeit we do have some very similar weather conditions out here tonight there. Of course, Schumacher had a 10-second stop-go penalty for overtaken under yellow flag. Into the pits comes our first driver, which is Ginner. So that, to me, Serious Mushroom is right and I am wrong. That to us must mean that Ginner doesn't believe it's going to dry up anytime soon there. I always thought he was going to dry, but obviously not. It's very light rain, but Ginner into the pits now. Wait, that is the hard tyres. Good heavens above then. So Ginner has gone for the hard compound tyres, and he's coming on the pit lane now. There's a gap between Chlorine Pilot and Debo Croc then, but I think the Chlorine Pilot's just going to get through, but these are hard tyres. He's going to have to do an almighty job there to get those tyres working and operating window. If you go to Redditch, that's the Vegas of England. Is it? I must admit, I've only ever gone to 3 or 4 places. I don't really go anywhere, to be fair, because I'm like a recluse basically. I'm like a hobbit. I basically just live under a bridge basically, and just groan at people and growl at people when they cross my bridge. Goodness me. Jinner's made a mistake then. It says Cirrus Mushroom. As we're just on board with Vesher, that is a lot of rain. We'll keep an eye on what Jinner does there, but he's the first to blink on the hard tyres there for Jinner. But there is a lot to lose for the Haas team because they are leading the Constructors' Championship at the moment, jointly in the Constructors' Championship with Alpine. So that's a lot to lose then, isn't it? As we're coming up to half distance in this World Championship. Lap 13 is half distance in this World Championship, and shame on me, as last night I put round 7 instead of round 8 then, so my goodness gracious me, and none of you told me last night, so I'm very disappointed in you all. Look at these fast laps then, the times are tumbling like a fruit machine out there. Here's Mumford then, or Mumfire I should say, all over the back of Potsdam, and that track does feel drier to me, or is it just me? Sean saw the world, he went to Wales, absolutely, and also went down south as well. That's not a euphemism. It's just watching Mumford, who is all over the gearbox of Potsdam. 2 seconds the gap is between KD and Reflection. Reflection's really extended his lead in this Grand Prix. Tori is about 3.5 seconds away. Vessier is all over the gearbox of Tori as well. Tori is struggling in these conditions at the moment. Currently, Jinner is losing time though. He has lost about 2 seconds on that lap to Chlorine Pilot. The dry tyres are not the way to go. Jinner, I think, has jumped too early. Vessier has had a great run and is through and into third position before he even gets to Cops Corner. And Vessier has done it. What a manoeuvre there from Vessier. He had such a better run out of Luffield, didn't he? And it just powered past Tori. Look at that. The rain has stopped. The rain has stopped in this one then as we're approaching half distance. So this is going to be the time where the driver's going to be thinking about the dry tyres. But I think the chance is just seen with Jinner. It's too early, but Jinner is now starting to close in on Chlorine Pilot. This is the crossover, is it? Ayrton's got a 3-second penalty for cutting the corner. The naughty gentleman. Shocking stuff indeed. Whoa, who's that? The real thing is out of control. Smithy is through, and we got pit drama. McLaren in the pits. Alpine in the pits where Reflections has stayed out. Goodness gracious me, Smithy is up into 15th position there. The real thing has gone into the gearbox of Smithy. And all these drivers have stayed out, and wonder if that's because of their teammate. Jinner is still not catching Chlorine Pilot, though. It's just a lap too early. Jinner lost 2 seconds in 1 lap, says Cirrus Mushroom. Chlorine Pilot's now got a 10-second penalty. It doesn't rain, but it pours for Chlorine Pilot, unfortunately. Get a drive-through penalty earlier on then because of... oh my gosh, what has happened there? Something's gone wrong out of the pit lane. And look at KD and Tori are fighting for position here. And these are the lead runners on the dry tyres and both on the hard compound tyres. So we got the real thing and Hassan then also up into 10th and 9th finish. Then more yellow flag there. Something's gone wrong in the pit lane for OZ4. I think it's here for the Ferrari, for the Mercedes and the Chlorine Pilot trying to recover. Jinner's now on the hard tyres, but he has lost a lot of time here, but he does know the grip, so he has a 2-3 lap. Oh my goodness me, and almost losing the car going into Luffield there. Jinner does have the knowledge though. So is that going to be crucial or not then? Of course, he's got the tyres fired up already. KD has resisted the attack of Tori at the moment. But it is not all done and dusted yet then. Into the pits comes our race leader, Reflection. Sloth has got a 3-second penalty for cutting the corner. Potstuff has got a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Oh crumbs, that's not good at all. Oh dear, oh dear. So everyone is in the pits now. The Red Bull mechanics are out for Dynamo Dan. What about the mechanics out for the Alpine? Smithy Almighty is in the pits as well. Everyone's in the pits. Farmer's got another penalty. Debo Croc has got a penalty as well. I'm wondering, I thought it might have been a lap too early. Reflections, look at the gap. Reflections is already out of the pit lane. So yes, Reflections has timed this to perfection. Vessier, and then we got Poststuff. He's in the wall. Poststuff, and he's on cold hard tyres has gone into the wall. Mumford is out just behind his teammate. It's a McLaren 3-4. Or is it? Because look left. It's the Tory going past. Tory in the Alpine. Is he going to go for position? No, not quite then. But he does have a lap of less knowledge on the hard tyres. But so does Vester as well. So this is where KD can say, look, Reflection just disappeared. He's gone. Incredible. Mumford in fourth. Tory in fifth. Knowles the under sixth position with Riley in seventh. Potts up down into eighth. Haas have really it's gone backwards for Haas since qualifying, and now a 10-second penalty, not stop go. 10-second penalty for Potts up for speeding in the pit lane. Horror show for the Haas team. My golly gosh, then Mumford up to fourth position. That's absolutely fantastic stuff indeed. Then Sean just ramming random buttons, random race shots there. I can't keep up then. It's absolutely ridiculous. No, I can't believe Vesser's so high up then. Come on, guys, let's catch him. It says Kieran Spires there. My goodness me. So we've also got Roman Grosjean moment, unfortunately. Indeed, then, of course, Roman Grosjean, did he do in practice in the 2019 British Grand Prix? Something like that, was it? Because that was also the infamous day where William Story decided to post a milk float as a Haas, which, of course, one of the more interesting characters over the years of Formula One. I must admit, I quite liked him. One of the YouTubers called him Bad Santa, which I thought was hilarious. Camera Racer set the fast lap for the race, and of course these times are going to get quicker and quicker as we're at half distance now, and we also are at half distance of the World Championship as well in silver, and goodness me, it is so close at this time then. Reflections at his first pole position of his career, and currently he's on such a rich run of form. Reflection is winning the event league last season, winning the bronze championship as well, the first driver to win 2 championships in the same year in ALR. It's absolutely superb stuff indeed as Mumford all over the back of Tory, who in turn is all over the back of KD, and look at Vesier, he's actually got out of DRS range. Has the DRS been enabled? I do not know, to be honest. Goodness gracious me. Imagine Sean's neighbour during the ALR race. I know, I'm surprised I've been kicked out, to be fair. Goodness gracious me. I must admit, when I used to commentate at my sister's house years and years ago, then I think one of the neighbours did come round because they thought that someone was actually getting murdered, which is not ideal, is it? But there you go. But goodness me, it's because ALR's got so much action. That's it. I'm not sure if I'd be this excited if we was watching anything else then. Maybe a Man City game potentially, but that's just me. I just don't like the way they play football. Goodness me, Sean. Calm it down. He was joked, shame he was corrupt. Imagine him at McLaren or Red Bull posting stuff like that, says Kieran Spires. Absolutely. I must admit, I quite liked him. I did think he was hilarious, William Story. Yeah, and I don't really understand any of the business model either, because Rich Energy is still around somewhere, aren't they? Or apparently they are anyway, because didn't they sponsor like a MotoGP bike as well after 2019 as well? Very odd. I must admit, I have only ever seen one Canada stuff being sold at a random corner shop in Gloucester. I have never seen it sold anywhere else, which is all that's good stuff indeed. Again, he won 3 Constructors Championships. Don't forget the Bronze Constructors. I apologise, Halsey. Goodness gracious me, shocking stuff. Yes, Reflections won the Constructors Championship in bronze, then, along with Halsey, as well as the Event League as well, and the Drivers' Championship there for Reflections, who is now 4.3 seconds in front as the sun is starting to glisten down here in Silverstone. Beautiful scenery indeed. Reflection's just lucky. It's just lucky I'm rubbish, says that Serious Russia. That makes 2 of us. So, I must admit, good job. I'm actually that rubbish. The admins wouldn't even let me back in to race after Australia, unfortunately. Is Reflections in the championship fight, says Kieran Spires. Not yet at the moment then. Well, I don't think he is then, but I'm going to be honest, my maths is appalling. As it stands at the moment in the championship, the gap is 46 points then, but we are only at half distance now in this championship fight. So Reflections could certainly be in this championship. It's not all done and dusted. out of the Hamilton straight once again. So KD at the moment there is in first position. Remember also we heard last night as well as how difficult it is to overtake, even with DRS around here. So so this could become a bit of a DRS train here, a bit of single file action then going down the Wellington straight once again. But Reflections at the moment there has got such an advantage there because he came into the pits at the exact right time. Absolutely perfected it. Same with Mumfire as well. Up into 5th position there after a horror show qualifying for Mumford. I haven't turned my laptop on. Oh gosh. My backup laptop for driving the day, so you guys are going to have to tell me driving the day. But I think the Mumfire should probably be in the conversation for driving the day, in a superb 5th position at the moment. But he does have penalties there. We will check into the penalties. We have a couple of laps to go. Devo Croc in the pits there. So unfortunately, Devo Croc there, it's been a difficult time in the second Mercedes. His teammate Riley is right behind the man we're on board with at the moment, which is Knowlesy. Camera Racer has got another penalty then to add to his amount of penalties he's got in the motor. Oh, God's sake, don't get short on the mass set. To us, I read that as meth, man, so I was like, uh-oh. Goodness me. I've been watching too much Breaking Bad, then, goodness me. Which I must say, if you haven't watched it, and you're over the age of 18, then I suggest you go and watch it. And it's, I think one of the best TV shows, potentially. Same with Prison Break as well. I used to love Prison Break. Only season 1. Season 2 was alright, and season 3 meh, but then after that it went a bit weird, I must admit. And then all of a sudden the guy who has never really touched the firearm, I think his name was Link, all of a sudden was able to work a machine gun. Oh, well, we'll talk about that in a minute because KD is through and up into 2nd position. Passes Vessier, and Vessier now down into 3rd position. But let's see what Vessier can do. Is Vessier struggling out there in terms of pace? KD, over the course of the season, has been a top competitor. His worst race for KD was back in the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix where he finished 7th, albeit he was on pole position for that race as well. I think he was. Yeah, he was indeed. KD, he actually got only a point in Australia, actually, did KD. But in Saudi Arabia as well, he was on pole position, but of course, it didn't go too well, unfortunately for KD. But now he is through and in 2nd position. With 10 laps to go, that is more than enough time to hunt down Reflections and steal the win off Reflections. But KD is going to have to go and fight for it then. This one's not going to be handed to the McLaren driver, as Vassar getting very close to KD. I think the KD is now going to start to harvest, and the question I've got is, can Tory follow through his championship rival? Because as it stands at this moment in time, KD will lead the Drivers' Championship and also fast up as well to put an exclamation mark on her things. Fantastic stuff indeed. Yes, KD. The only thing with Prison Break is how many times they can escape from prison before someone thinks, maybe we should put them in a more secure facility. Shh! Don't poke holes into one of my favourite TV shows. Shocking something. I would say that I think that actually Prison Break is probably just a one and done season for me personally, but maybe stretch season 2 where they're out trying to run away from the police and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think one and done. And I think after the 2nd season, I think it probably should have ended there, personally. But there you go. But I was actually more impressed. I actually was able to sit down and watch. I think it's on for like half an hour, 45 minutes. Very impressive for me because I got an attention span of a goldfish, and even that's quite a bit of a stretch. Knowlesy there stretching the facilities of Silverstone here. It's Riley having a look there, and goodness gracious me, I wonder if Knowlesy was distracted there by our talk of a Prison Break, and he was probably going to have a go on that as well. And I got to say, absolutely. Devo Croc is setting a pass up the race. Devo Croc will be homing for a safety car because he has really been cut adrift. And we had a safety car last night, but of course it was very controversial as yellow flags for the other for the Ferrari of Chlorine Pilot. Love the helmet design for Chlorine Pilot, but down into 19th position then as Ayrton is through and up into 18th. The other Ferrari of Reflections are currently leading the charge as Farf has lost out to the real thing as well. Got a lot of overtakes on that lap. Goodness gracious me. As of course, if you just joined us, we start off the race out where it was drizzling. Well, it's more drizzling. There's a bit of light rain out there. Ayrton taking another shortcut. Disgusting. It was raining, of course, to start off the race, but he's all on the intermediate tyres. But like a good old British weather, then the rain has been dispersed and it's been blown away, possibly because I was there and because I'm full of hot air. But the rain has been blown away as Chlorine Pilot is our first retiree in this Grand Prix. Drive-through penalty, then a 10-second penalty as well. It has been a horror show day and season for Chlorine Pilot, unfortunately. But hats off to him for sticking with it. But it is very different. I must say, hats off to everyone that turns out when they're really struggling the season. It's something that I certainly do struggle to do, but then again, I get very angry very quickly, which is why I'm called a Ginger Rage. Gap is up to 5 seconds now. So when Katie got past Vessier, the gap was about 4.6, 4.4, 4.3 seconds. The gap has been extended by half a second there. As I just watched this gameplay, Uncle Hussein now, who is currently in 870 position there. But to be fair to Fahad, they jumped in the car and unfortunately had issues there and didn't connect, and only connected at the very last minute on the formation lap and probably didn't get the start they wanted. And then Chlorine Pilot didn't get the start he wanted either, and jumped the start, unfortunately. The worst jump to start I've seen since Welsh Maldonado in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix and the finale of Bronze a few seasons ago, which is shocking stuff indeed. Which, by the way, I think is still one of my personal highlights, as she jumped the start and then carried on going, which I thought was quite funny, to be honest. And to be honest, there it's like Chlorine Pilot. Once you jump the start, you must just crack on with it, aren't you? Really? I mean, I'm not sure if the stewards have been too impressed with that, but to be fair, you're in hot water anyway for jumping the start. As long as you don't cause any anarchy to the other drivers, then they all turn a blount and all that kind of stuff. Fastest overall, says gameplay, in terms of Fahad, then down in 17th position, as I've got another very loud exhaust there. You can tell summer's coming. Startles on the inside and past the Sloth, who had a great start. Then I think that, whoa, it's the two Red Bulls there going side by side. Dynamo Dan's gone wide out of Cop's corner. Is Sloth going to come back at him? No, he doesn't. Dynamo Dan up in 12th position. For the Red Bull driver then. Sloth down into 13th as Ruthless and Venom said earlier on. Then there's Sloth moving up 13th position. Absolutely superb stuff indeed. Sadly, though, the race has gone backwards in this one. As we rejoin this battle here then, which is a battle for the podium spot, said as it stands. And said that Mumford's dropped off. The gap is now 3.3 seconds there. This is not a battle for the podium spots anymore. This is a battle for 5th position. Mumford's a bit of a doorstop here, isn't he? A cork in the bottle, doorstop. Sloth out of the Grand Prix then, and I think that is, I wonder if there's technical gremlins there for the Red Bull, but Sloth out of the race then, and that's his third retirement in 6 Grand Prix this season, unfortunately for Sloth, our second retiree in this British Grand Prix. And Knowles, goodness gracious me, Knowles has had his shredded wheat this morning. He's up into 5th position there, going into Brooklands. My goodness gracious me. He absolutely blasted past it. And now can Mumford get back at Knowles in it? Well, we could have a repeat of Verstappen and Hamilton for 2021. Love the camera, but, well, no, not at all then. I was going to say I love the camera angle there, but unfortunately we need to see what's happening behind. Mumford there is not really close to Knowles. However, there will be a DRS activation point coming up in just a jiffy. Let's get our timing screen back on. There it is, and as Mumford then will, and look at Mumford, he had so much speed there out of the chapel and down the back straight is Knowles. He is punching the hole in the air in the Aston Martin there as we go down into Stoke Corner once again. But I think the Mumford I should say, is going to probably be looking over. Look at that, there's blue skies, and good gracious me, we need to get out our deck chairs, I think, then, and enjoy the show here in ALR. Albeit we've only got 5 laps to go then, so get out your chairs quite quickly. Riley looks like he is very much wrestling an octopus there out of the final turn there. Goodness gracious me, as this conga line is starting to get smaller and smaller because Knowles is through now, and I think that Mumford is now going to sink into the clutches of Riley. Riley does not need to overtake, of course. Then there are the his pot stuff then is going to be out of the top 10 by the looks of things. Having said that, Henry Stars is about 10 seconds away at this moment in time then, so Stars might just about Potts might just about stay behind them, behind the driver of, oh, we've got an overtake there, behind who am I talking about? Oh, Stars might stay behind Potsdam as well. As Farfare out of the bottom turn out and through he goes. As now we've also got Farhad through and up into 15th finish there. Of course, Farhad then of course starting a bit with his hand tied behind his back after what's going on there? I don't know. I thought I'd turn my phone off, but no, not good, would it? Because then I wouldn't be able to read the comments. Farhad then, of course, leaving the session then before returning in the session, but unfortunately the damage was done. As we got to go back here because the Tory is through and up into third position there as Vester's dropped down into fourth, but Tory now needs to get motoring if he wants to keep this third position because Vester on course to get his second podium of the season for Vester as Mumford in the pits, and goodness me, I was quite surprised to see Mumford overtake that, but yes, he is coming in the pits now. We have heard about potentially the Jarno Opmeer line in and just coming to the pits and winning from diving into the pits. The admins haven't mentioned anything about that, but I'll be surprised if anyone does try that technique. So where's Mumford then as he comes out of the pits now? Mumford might have thrown away some points here, but unless he didn't know about the penalties in the back row. He's on the medium tyres as Mumford, so I don't think he's going to get fastest lap there either. So it's all kind of been a downward spiral for the second McLaren driver, who was my pick for driver of the day, to be honest, because I think that up until that point Mumford was driving a superlative race. He still is, but I feel that two-stop, that strategy has put pay to him getting some points today, and that has opened the door for Stars to maybe get 9th position, and Dynamo Dan may even be able to pick up another point as well, because Dynamo Dan is picking up the points and quite nicely, isn't he, this season, because in all of the 7 rounds so far, Dynamo Dan has only not finished in the points in the Spanish Grand Prix. Versier is back through and into third position there. Tory, of course, does have a 3-second penalty, so Tory's either going to hope that Versier gets a 3-second penalty, or he's going to have to overtake, which he did do, and then just go off down the road then. But as it stands at the moment, that is not the case, is it? Lap 23 out of lap 23 out of 36 here. Let's take stock. Reflections leads and currently on course to win his first Grand Prix of the season, of his career as well for Reflections. Of course, the bronze champion. And my goodness me, in the second half of the season, this is the beginning of the second half of the season, he has arrived in style. Superb for Reflections. Second position is KD. Vessier in third position with Tory in fourth. Currently, as it stands at the moment now, Tory will not get that podium even if he passes Vessier because he has a 3-second penalty. Fifth position is Knowlesy. 6 is Riley. Potstuff a 10-second penalty plus an extra 3-second penalty. So Potstuff is going to struggle to get into keep in the top 10 at this moment in time. But they are gapping style still. Then we've got Jinner in 8th position. 9th is Camaro. 10th is Stars with Dynamo down length. And Smithfield Mighty is caught to the back of that battling duo to make it a quartet. No, a trio. A trio, not a quartet. Goodness me. Farhad in a 13th position. Farf in 14th. The Real Fig is in 15th position. No penalties for the Real Fig. Good stuff indeed. Mumfai was in the heart of the top 10. Down in 16th position now, unfortunately, for Mumfai. Then that extra pit stop has really taken them out of the points there, unfortunately. As Tory well off the circuit there. Goodness me. I'm wondering if he was trying to make sure he doesn't get an extra penalty there. I'm wondering if he's on his last warning. The drivers get, is it 2 or 3 warnings if we get a 3-second penalty? Then we got Ayrton in at 17th position. 9 seconds of penalty for Ayrton. And then we got Debo Croc in the 18th and last of the running order so far. Sloth out of the Grand Prix. A superb start from Sloth up 10 positions on the opening lap then when it was raining. But I think when it started to dry out, the Red Bull driver did struggle. And then we got Chlorine Pilot who had a jump start, then had a 10-second penalty as well. It's been a horror show day for the second Ferrari, whilst the lead Ferrari driver has been walking in Memphis, as they say on that song. First win in silver, driver of the day has to be to Reflections. No, says Halsey. My other candidate would have been Mumfai, but Mumfai unfortunately has dropped down the order. But absolutely, of course, I would absolutely concur with that then. I haven't got my other laptop on them, and to be fair, it's all the way over there, and if I start to walk, I won't be able to reach it because I've got all these cables here, there, and everywhere. But Reflections, as about that, Tori is trying to DRS swap his way to get 3 seconds away from Knowlesy there, and that's a very good shout there, because look, Knowlesy is very much, wow, as Debo Crock's got the fast side of the race. That's a very good spot there from Kieran Spires. Absolutely, I didn't even see that Tori was in the within 3 seconds there, so Knowlesy could head for himself back. And the fourth here, fantastic for the Aston Martin driver. Cheers, much I say Reflection as well. No one else's opinion matters, says Housley. To us, I absolutely concur with that one. And then we have got, I also say Reflections. He's my goat then. Tyre Sean, says Mayran. I apologise. They're on the tyre strategy at the moment. Everyone is on the... Everyone's on the hard tyres. Apart from... I got a cough. Farfus in the pits then, and also in the pits as well is Mumfie. So that ends that battle, and I've got him stuck in... Right, where was I? Tyres, Sean, goodness gracious me. Hello there, just joined in time for the final race, for the final stage, says Chazza. Absolutely great 17th there, of course. Chazza could witness Reflector taking his first Grand Prix win of his career in silver as Potstuff, a bit of oversteer out, and look at that damage to Potstuff as well. What's happened there? That's probably happened on lap 1. I've only just realised that. So Potstuff then also with a 13-second penalty also has damage to that front nose cone as well. That is not ideal at all for the Haas driver as we go through Maggotts, Beckett's and through Chapel now, and the understeer on that Haas car is probably horrific there. As we got Debo Crock in the pits as well. Ayrton and Mumford, Favre and Debo Crock are all going on to soft tyres. I think Debo Crock may have missed the boat though, unfortunately, because it is the final lap now for Reflections. What has been superb indeed then. Put that burger down while speaking, for God's sake, says Serious Buster. I can't hold for it. Jenner on the final lap as well as Reflections also on the final tour of the British Grand Prix. One more win than me by the sounds of it, says Chazza. However, Chazza does have 2 pole positions in his career in gold, and I'm sure that Chazza got a pole position on his debut of Season 5 of Japan. Or Season 4 of Japan. I keep thinking Season 5. I get Season 5 and 4 mixed up for some reason. Probably because it's the same game, but there you go. Right, I'm trying to clear me throat, clear all the holes in my body, so I can stand up and pay attention to Reflections and the bronze champion there, on course to win his first race in his silver career. And what a what a purple patch that Potter's got another pounds there, and that could cost him points, unfortunately, in this one. And what a superb bit of form that this man has been in. Of course, 3-time champion now, constructors champion for bronze there, drivers champion for bronze as well, the event champion as well, and Reflections there is going to come out of the final turn and he's going to win his first Grand Prix of his career. Reflections wins the British Grand Prix, and what a performance there from Reflections there. That is absolutely superb stuff indeed. And I think we had a question earlier on in this one whether Reflections was a contender for the Drivers' Championship. He has certainly put himself in the shop window, but I think he has now announced himself on the big stage, hasn't he, in terms of fighting for the Drivers' Championship in silver. However, there is still a bit of a gap then, because he's only gained 7 points on KD tonight then, and I think that KD is the Drivers' Championship leader. I think I haven't got me calculator out there, as I think Potstuff did finish the race there, but unfortunately will not get any points, unfortunately. And Jinner has also left the session as well. Where did Jinner finish? Jinner finished 7th position and Potstuff finished 14th there. As Mumford also getting a fast lap, and I think that Mumford is actually out of this race, and so that as Favre gets fast lap as well. Then of course, well, he has to cross the line. Oh gosh, that's going to be a headache on Friday, but that's a Friday problem, not today. But I was pretty pacey back in the day, says Chancellor. I didn't actually. It was German that race, says Chancellor. I apologise profusely. Then Sam said Emerson and Ayrton producing similar racing interest in that. Absolutely, it must have been Emerson in the cockpit because of course Ayrton is a multiple-time Grand Prix winner. Right, let's take a final look at the classification then from the British Grand Prix. Let's go reflection. A great bloke, well-deserved win then. Well done, reflection, says Chazza, into the winners, into the race-winning club. You go, sir. Absolutely. Reflection, his first Grand Prix win of his career in silver then, and this is the sign of things to come. KD finished second today, and I think KD will be happy with that. Vesser from 10th to 3rd. That's a good result there from Vesser, and once again, Vesser showing that he's got some pace in that racing ball. Tory in 4th position. I think that 4th position may have swung the championship back into KD's favour by a point or so. 5th is Knowlesy. 6th position is Riley from 12th to 6th. Great job. Cameron Racing 7th. Hungry Stars 8th. Dynamo down in 9th. And Smithy completing the top 10. Farhad recovering to 11th. The Real Fig in 12th. 13th is Far. And that fastest up. 14th is Ayrton. Then we know it's Jinner 7th, actually, isn't it? Goodness me. Jinner 7th. And then 8th is Stars. 9th is Dynamo down. No, 8th is Stars. No, 8th is. Oh, I don't know. Right, then, of course, I picked Mother retired on the final lap then, and all that kind of a lark as well. Basically, that is going to be a nightmare for me on Friday, but that's a Friday problem, and I'm going to be honest, I'm probably going to forget, and the championship standings are going to be wrong, but that is not my problem until Friday. Which I got to figure out what to actually watch on Friday whilst doing the standings because there's no Formula E this weekend. So goodness me, what am I going to do about that? That's not a concern right now. What is a concern is Reflection is now a Grand Prix winner in silver. That sounds superb, Reflections. How are you feeling, my good sir?
I'm feeling absolutely ecstatic. I had fantastic pace in that race. My qualifying lap, that was my PB. I've never done a 25 on this track, so to get a 25.8 was phenomenal. And then, yeah, I was a bit worried when it rained because I'm not very good in the rain. But I managed to hold off KD and the others behind and start pulling a gap. And when it dried out, I thought, you know what, I feel good. Just extended the gap to about 5 seconds and I was happy.
It was absolutely phenomenal stuff indeed. Then, of course, you mentioned about the rain, which was certainly going to put a curveball into proceedings. And did the rain help or hinder you when it comes to strategy? Because the rain seemed to stop just at the right time, and you extended your stint on the intermediate tires by one lap. So did that help, or did that make it more challenging for you in terms of strategy today?
No, it helped. I remember from Silverstone reverse on 100%, it took ages to dry out. And with this only being a 50%, I didn't think it'd take as long. So I thought if I stay out that extra lap, um, it should give it time to dry out that little bit more. And it was a little bit slippy when we come out on the hard tyres due to a bit of a greasy surface and cold tyres. But after about a lap or two, it was fine, absolutely fine. So strategy worked out really well.
And the transition over from the intermediates to the dry tires then I think that that's sometimes underestimated how difficult it is then but it didn't matter what conditions it was today whether it was inters or dries you looked pretty much peerless. How was it difficult for yourself to go from inters to dries and get yourself back into a rhythm today?
It was a little bit difficult, yeah, because I was just didn't want to make that mistake. You know, it's so easy to make a mistake and the others just to overtake because we're all so closely matched in pace. So it was a bit worrying on that transition from inters to dries on when to go onto the dry tyres. But after about 2 or 3 laps on the dries, I felt comfortable. Um, I was pushing flat out. I wasn't relaxing by any stretch of the imagination, but I did feel comfortable. In practice, I felt comfortable in my practice, so I was quite satisfied with today. I'm so happy to get finally get a win in silver.
And we had a question, I think, from Kieran Spires today then about whether you're in the championship fight. I said earlier on then there's about 46, 47 points. The gap is potentially that's a bit of a stretch as we're over half distance. However, that was before your Grand Prix win today. So are you in the championship fight?
I don't know. As I say, we're all closely matched on pace, and the front runners on their day, they're just unbeatable. So I don't know. I think I'm too far behind, but if I can get a few more podiums and maybe a couple of more race victories, just see where we are at the end. Anywhere in the top 5 or 6 in this division will be absolutely fantastic for myself.
And now you've got a Grand Prix win, very similar to bronze potential in the event league. Of course, you've got multiple wins in those two championships. Now you've got a win in silver. Do you feel now that this is going to elevate your status to even greater heights and potentially give you more confidence about go about throwing caution to the wind, especially with saying about you'll be happy you might not be in the championship fight just yet. So do you feel that throwing caution to the wind with this new win as well is going to get you right involved in it?
It's given me confidence that I can race with these lads. My last time I was in silver, I was dreadful. So I had no confidence really coming into this season with the top lads. I knew I could compete maybe for the bottom half of the grid, but I didn't think I'd be competing in the top half. And to be able to compete gives me loads of confidence and loads of pride as well in my own ability. So yeah, I'm super, super happy.
Well done today, Reflections, your first Grand Prix win at silver, and thank God that you deciphered my question there, because that was appalling. KD finished second today, and I'm not sure if my maths is right, which take this with a pinch of salt, but I think you're leading the championship again. Is this a positive or a negative coming out of Silverstone tonight?
Oh, well, I mean, it's a positive that I finished editorial post up because that's was my main goal, one of my main goals. But I think the win was on the cards. I just made way, way too many mistakes in that race alone. My last lap in qualifying, I went deep into Brooklands, and that pretty much killed my lap. Why I didn't improve. As far as the race is concerned, like Reflection and I, like we were steady. I know like he was slightly quicker than me uh, in a little bit of the race during the rain. Like he would be quicker than me through sectors 1 and 3, but I would gain most of the time back. I'd say in the middle sector because that's where I felt the quickest. And then I went to the pit lane, obviously on lap 10 or 11, I think it was. I think that was when the rain stopped. I pitted as soon as the rain stopped to go into the hard tire, and I had absolutely no grip whatsoever. It felt like an ice skating rink out there for at least a lap and a half. So that killed my outlap or in lap and outlap. And yeah, there was nothing I could have done about reflection on that. So best thing I could have done really is just get the podium and maintain the gap between me and my championship rivals. And I mean that's what I did. It's great. I'm happy about it, but I just think I cost myself big time on that. Just try to fight for the win. But Reflection deserved the win. Like he made little to no mistakes at all. He ran a solid race overall.
So reflecting on this race, pun intended, do you think that do you like look back at this race and actually this is going to be points lost? Because it sounds like you're quite disappointed by the race overall. What was the problem today with all the mistakes then that you made? Which, by the way, that was your words, not mine, because I thought you drove a very good race today. But what was the cause of your issues today? Do you reckon? Was it mentally? Was it just not prepared?
No, it's not the preparation or mentally. It was at one point when we were going to the pits, Mark came over the radio and like gave me a different strategy, which was go two stop, which I accidentally clicked on accepting that, and I'm like, oh no, it's going to be like what happened at Saudi Arabia, where I accepted it and then it goes onto that strategy. Because if I went to medium highs, I wanted to do two stop, and then I was trying to like get the hard tires to be set before I went into the pits, and then Mark decided to keep yapping on the radio down the hanger straight, so that distracted me a little bit, and then I tried to to set it up as soon as I got to the pits, and then I realized, oh, dang it, I'm that close to the pits, so I'm yeah, it was just trying to manage that, but it was just annoying. But as I said, a lot of it was also on me too for what happened today.
Bloody Mark, he always gets in the way. Bring back Jeff. Well done today, KD. Great job to get second position. And then Vessier with third position. And
Thank
I
you.
must say, Vessier, you gate crashed this podium once again today. It was a
I
great
know, terrible, isn't
undercut,
it?
I believe, Ben. But you came out of
No, no
nowhere.
undercut.
Of course, you pitted, I think, a lap later than everyone else said to get yourself over the third position. And it was that. Talk us about that strategy, if you could.
Yeah, same with Reflection. We knew about Silverstone reverse. And it also happened in China in 100% as well, where just although it was dry, like bone dry on the circuit, it was still not enough grip to activate the DRS and also be quick on the slicks itself. But yeah, had really good wet pace, gained a lot of positions. It's just really hard to pass in the wet um, on this game. But yeah, the dry conditions kind of let me down in the race, to be honest. I feel like if it was wet the whole race, I probably would have been able to finish P2, um, maybe P1. I don't know. It was a bit of a surprise for Reflection to be so quick in the wet, as normally that's his weakest condition. So yeah, fair props to him.
Ah, that's very interesting. So do you... Oh, so sorry, were you talking about? Apologies. So were you knowing that reflection was so quick in the wet? Was there anyone else that you was concerned by in terms of when the rain was coming down? Was you thinking, "Ooh, this may benefit or may hinder me"? Who else was you looking at thinking that actually they're going to be a problem in the wet?
Lewis, he's normally quite good in the wet. So I thought he might come through the field with me, but it didn't seem like he did. So yeah, it was just a bit of a weird race, and then yeah, there was obviously a field gap between the top four. But well, Reflection being 5 seconds up the road, um, and then the rest of us. Um, there was quite a big gap. So yeah, it was just um, not the most eventful race, I would say, on my books anyway.
And of course, coming up the pits, it was very, very, very close between yourself and I think it was the two McLarens there. Was that the point in the race where he's like, oh, if I can get past both the McLarens here, I could potentially go after Reflection, because he was 4 seconds up the road by this point, or do you feel that the Reflection was too far gone by this stage?
Yeah, too far gone. His dry pace was much better than mine. So yeah, it was just a wet where I felt like I had the upper hand, but having to get through the field just hindered my hindered me pretty much.
You mentioned about struggling to overtake in the wet conditions. Could you expand on that a bit more? And how do you think that that could be improved from a Formula One standpoint?
Um, it's really can't. It's with just aerodynamics pretty much. Um, but yeah, basically why it's so much harder uh, to overtake in the wet is um, that you don't have DRS, so you can't easily pass on the straights, and then everyone using ERS only like all got ERS and enough ERS to defend with. So you've really got to do it on the brakes. So yeah.
Thank you very much, guys. Brilliant stuff indeed. Great job for Reflection getting his first Grand Prix win of his career. KD and Bessier finished second and third in what was a splendid podium. Tomorrow night it is bronze, and as it stands at the moment, then RTB has a 19-point lead in the Drivers' Championship. He has won the last 2 races and going for a hat-trick of Grand Prix wins. It seems to be a different championship between qualifying and the race because Tom Huffy has been absolutely peerless in qualifying, but race trim has certainly been R2B, and he has extended his lead to 19 points between himself and Jay Higgs. Find out tomorrow as we rerun the British Grand Prix for a third time. Oh, my screen's gone black. That's not very good. I think it's time to say